Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. I welcome our guest today. Your name, sir? Srinivasan Naidu. You Shamila's brother. Okay. Shamila has coordinated and networked with me. We went and saw former President Mandela together. Zuma. She brought the king to our function on Sunday, and we have an ongoing relationship, networking with various social entities that exist and that we are associated with. So it's an honor to have you here today. And let me say this, Shamila and her brother went to arrest our president, Cyril Ramaphosa. They went to make a civilian arrest. It was quite a brave thing to do. They went in a stadium. Was it a stadium? Yes. Just two of them, brother and sister. They went to effect an arrest. Although they knew it would be impossible, but it was something that had to be done. It was to showcase a particular principle. It was more about the principle than the actual arrest itself, because no civilian anywhere in the world has a capacity to practically arrest a president. You can't get near him. Somehow they got through some of the obstacles until they were stopped by the security, the president's security, and they knew they were not going to physically arrest him. It was more on the principles of attempting that arrest. So you all can do that, and I have stated many times, if we unite as South Africans and go to the union buildings or Parliament or Luthuli House, we can create a scenario showing our disgust of the current president that's in office today. Okay? So whilst on this topic, I think it is necessary we here to uplift our country, either religiously or in bodies such as yourself. You belong to Real Democracy. It's a foundation.
It's a non-profit
NPO. It's a NPO, and these founders are bona fide. They have a real interest of the country at heart, and when their credentials and our credentials synthesize, there is a natural surge of positive energy into the atmosphere of our country. And I think our country knows There is a sense now the country is moving from its depression of 2020, 2021, 2022. We are in 2023. There is a sense of the weight lifting of the shoulders of the citizens in South Africa, where they know that all sectors of society is interested in making a difference in 2024. People know it. The citizens know it. The citizens have been educated that by putting a simple cross on the right party or candidate, life can change on the South African political scene. People know that. They just have to be nudged and prodded more through discourses like this and awareness throughout South Africa on or before the election day. So these are positive steps that we take in as a Sri Narayan Dham, and positive steps taken by real democracy. I know from Shamila they have been involved in a wide range of impactful contributions to society. And I'm sure Srinivasan is going to give us a background more comprehensively, more in detail. So it is necessary in every society, in all parts of the world, for all cultures, all traditions, all religions to come together, because we make the totality of the citizenry of any country. It is everyone and all inclusive. So for many centuries, religion has divided us, politics has divided us, race has divided us, cultures and traditions have divided us. And we came to our senses that we cannot live or prosper in division. The whole world is falling apart because of perpetuating division. And we can practically see this amongst our Indian community and India as a nation. The colonizers created the caste system in India to divide the strong Sanatan Dharma community that existed. They knew and they planned meticulously that if you allow Sanatan Dharma to exist in the form that they found India in, they would not be able to loot anything from India. So they created a diversion, and that diversion was breaking people up into Christians, Muslims, high class, low class, and locally, if you'll, I just want to add some spice in it. Nunyas, you'll heard of Nunyas. And what's the other one? Chamars. You heard of Nunyas and Chamars, Jessica?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, I'm just spicing it up. It's in the South African context. But there in India, they broke Sanatan Dharmis and categorized them and made them fight with each other. And whilst this fight was carrying on, Christian, Muslim, Sanatan Dharmis, Nunyas, Chamars, they started extracting the wealth of the country. So again, I've been preaching with common sense, Srinivasan. All my discourses, I attach common sense to it. So imagine if you are granted a low caste status in your religion that you are practicing, and somebody comes from another religion and gives you equal status. You are prejudiced in your own religion that you was born in, but people come from another religion and give you equal status. A Muslim comes and tells you, you are in Islam, you are equal. There's no high class, there's no low class. And they subsidize you financially, because obviously the lowest caste will be the poorest in Sanatana Dharma, yes or no? Yes. And then they take you into the fold, they give you love, they give you money, you don't have to be a vegetarian anymore. Won't you jump into that religion? Because you are given equal status and you are given love. So this was the intention of the British. This was the intention to divide and then cause chaos in your own division and also cause religious chaos. Yes or no? It's in the history books. It's there. And in this chaos, how many people lost their lives? How many people died? Has the British showed any conscience, even up to now? You think I should visit Rishi Bhai and see that we hold a truth and reconciliation, not only India, but all the countries that they looted from around the world. You saw recently on social media, their new king was to be adorned with looted clothing and jewelry from around the world. So we need to get together in forums like this. We need to be brave, we need to be honest, and we need to discuss. That is what democracy is supposed to be. And this democracy is supposed to be pervading the world. We're living today, we say, in a modern democratic society. But if anybody had experience in politics, Jessica, then you'll know democracy is just a word. 4 or 5 people are the policy makers. When we sit in these big conferences and you'll think we made the policies, no. The policies were already made somewhere else. Branch chairpersons can't even spell the word policy, but you'll see that convention produced this policy and that policy and that policy and that policy, and it was rubber stamped and the country is running in democracy. Bull. B-U-L-L. All right, all in capitals. 4 or 5 people, they work this thing out over months. Then you go in a convention and you are not even spoon-fed. Your mouth is opened and it is pushed inside you. It is forced in you. All right? So there's no real democracy. I think that is why Srinivasan has created an organization for real democracy. You understand? America has a madman running America. He thinks he's running America. He's not running. He's an elected leader. For democracy, you must have elections. Yes? South Africa has a madman running the country. He's an elected leader. There's no democracy. Behind him, there's dictators that dictate in the policies of the country, the direction of the country, the economy of the country, the friends of the country, and the enemies of the country. These that are elected are puppets. Around the world, these that are elected are puppets. It's called democracy, and you'll say we're going to have a democratic election in 2024. When they go into office, dictators are there for the past 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they will direct the democratically elected president. They will dictate to the democratically elected president. So is that democracy? So do we need an NPO or an NGO like real democracy? Do we need to get out? Do we need to open the eyes of people that this is just a game, it's like a video game? These presidents are in a video game. Somebody else is playing and pushing the buttons. You understand? We need this reality to kick in. It's just a few around the world. I think in every government there's 10 of these dictators. And look at us, 8 billion people, say 4 billion strong people. Can't we shake these dictators out of the dictatorship? Yes, we can. If we have frank discussions like this, if we sit across the board, if we discuss with everyone, then we can have a real democratic society. So it is absolutely necessary, and this is what we are conforming to in this 23 days. We meeting people with credentials. We meeting people that have really done practical work out there. You may not have heard of them, but when they come onto our platform, and then you realize, like yesterday, Kashvir, I can only remember his name. Kashiv. I can only remember the cash part I said. Srinivasan, I'm not good with names. I don't even know which organizations come every day, although they send it on WhatsApp. Somebody might be thinking I shouldn't be seated here as a guru. I mean, there is one person that's definitely thinking I shouldn't be seated here. But I don't fix my mind. I like my admin and my chairperson to handle. All of y'all have been picked. I referred Shamila's name, but it comes through our administration, and then I like this genuine conversation. I don't like questions to be sent to you and then you come and you answer to pacify the ashram. We had somebody on Tuesday, Author Aman Singh, where he opposed in a loving way what I do and what my concept is of this country. So he didn't want to accept the invitation because he said, he told my chairperson that 80% of what I am doing, he's in opposition. And I said, that's the person we want to come here, because it gives what we're doing credibility. You are not my disciple. My disciples have to follow whatever I tell them. If I tell them black is white, they have to say, Guru, black is white, because they are my disciples. But we interacting with society. We want to form social cohesion. Social cohesion cannot be formed with one-sided context. We need to take everybody, and social cohesion will only be effective if we understand each other in their own spaces. Once I bring you in my space, it's no longer social cohesion. It's the guru-disciple relationship. So we allow this, and Mr. Aman Singh, he was quite happy. He's sharing all my posts. I'm sure he'll share this post today as well. So this is what we are actually looking for. So I'm sure you enjoyed yourself on Sunday. You felt you felt the vibe. There's no window dressing. Whoever is here is really here, and I'm sure after this the ashram will connect to your organization in a more active and meaningful way, so that we can take our country where we know it needs to go. Our country is the greatest country in the world, and we need to give it that status. We belong here. This is our country. My scriptures say that wherever you live, you must work in that country and make it the best. So I live in South Africa. I don't know any other place. I went to India 4 times, Mauritius once. Could only live there for 3 days. I had to run back, murder, rape, robbery, but it's part of our consciousness. Yeah, this is where we feel at home. Yes, so I just wanted us to be aware that Sanatan Dharma, my preachings, is not a sectarian preaching. It is for everyone. It is scientific. God has to be a scientist for him to create a scientific universe. He has to be the absolute scientist. There can be no scientist above God. Then that can't be God. So science and God has to be the same. Science and God has to be the same. Scientist, science and God has to be the same direction. So I'm trying my best to bring material science on board and spiritual science on board, and find a point of synthesis where there is no more animosity. People are not veering away from God, thinking that science is more advanced. So this is what we do, Mr. Srinivasan. We are not the conservative ashram that you would find around. God has given me a specific mission. My 2 gurus, my guru on my left, we celebrated his 1006th birthday on Sunday. His body, if you see on my right hand side, the frame, that body still exists in Sri Rangam temple today without any embalming. That's a body. I was there in 2018. That's a photograph that was taken in 2018, and I brought it to the ashram. That's the body that exists today. So it defies science. There's no embalming. The eyes are still in the socket. You can see the ears are still there. His nails continues to grow. They clip his nails. They shave his head. And they give him a turmeric bath every 6 months. So I had the opportunity. Every guru that follows must go and trace the roots of their gurus. So I went and I traced the roots of Lord Sri Ramanuj. That is why I call him Lord. He has to have a lot of potency for his body to still remain. Then on my right is my guru. I never met him. He left his body, his material body, in 2007. I met him through a photograph, the smallest frame. First, such a photograph this size, passport size photograph, and then I was given a frame, and I got connected to my guru conceptually. My guru gave me just one simple instruction. I keep saying it at every discourse so that the guest can understand. He said, create a divine society. Not a divine Hindu society or divine Sanatan Dharma society. His instructions to me was straight: create a divine society. And the instructions from Lord Sri Ramanuj was respect all, worship your own. Respect all first before you can worship your own. So I've taken that and I've brought these two instructions into life. And this is why we are calling this month the month of the Ramanujans. So whoever belongs in this tradition, we have an initiated surname of Ramanuj. And this is why we are calling this month the month of the Ramanujans. Lord Sri Ramanuj's birthday starts on the 5th of May, and my Guru's birthday or appearance day is on the 27th of May. So I've taken the 5th of May, 27th of May, and I said, let me honor my two great saints and teachers, preceptors. And that is why we have this 23 days of continuous services where we invite people from different religions, different societal backgrounds, from business, whoever makes society breathe. We invite people from different sectors of society in fulfilling, because I'm sure that by you seated here today, we are creating a divine society. And you're not from our religion? You Christian?
No.
Oh, you, okay, all right. And we create religious harmony, traditional harmony, and cultural harmony. So we're doing everything that I am instructed to do. On that note, I'll introduce you. You can come and say what you want to say. We do not give time. We're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry, so don't rush. Take your time and tell us whatever you need to tell us. Thank you.
Thank you, Guru. I'd like to start by saying, but this is some help I had to write out here. I'm Srinivasan Naidu from Real Democracy, and our tagline is a non-profit organization that we thought was necessary at the time we formed it a few years ago. And basically our tagline is to uncover every lie, to reveal every truth, and to expose real state capture. Okay? And as Guru has said, democracy doesn't exist in its proper form, I don't think, anywhere in the world. In South Africa, we have what I would call a plutocracy, an organization that has a political head, but ruled by oligarchs from industry and people who have financial strength, the people who call the shots. I'd like to start with a story from, my mom always used to put the point across very nicely by telling us a story. And this is called the 99 Club. I don't know if any of you have heard of the 99 Club. A long time ago in India, there lived a king. And this king had lots of wealth, but he was never happy. One day he was walking through his a village in his kingdom, and he came across with his minister, and he came across this farmer and his family who were tilling the soil, reaping the harvest, the whole family all singing and joyously working with no care in the world. But you could see real joy in their efforts. And he asked his minister, why are these people so happy? I mean, we've gone through the rest of the kingdom, and I haven't seen people so happy as these. Most people are miserable. And his minister says, well, Your Majesty, they don't belong to the 99 Club. So the king asked, what is the 99 Club? He says, well, give me 99 gold coins and I will show you in 6 months what this is. So the king says, well, this is an expensive ask, but here you are. He gave him a bag of 99 gold coins. So the minister took the 99 coins and in the bag and placed it outside the door of the farmer. That evening, when the farmer went out after his meal, he found a bag at the door and took it into the home, called his family and says, see what I found. It's a heavy, heavy bag, and I wonder what's in it. So they laid it on the table, all 99 gold coins, and they started counting them. And they counted once, they counted till 99. Then the wife counted, and she counted till 99. And then all the children counted, and they all counted till 99. So he says, where is that one coin? So the next morning, he sent out his children and his wife to look in the field, to look down the village road, left and right, for this missing coin, and they couldn't find it. So they all came back home, and this farmer was now very, very worried. What has happened to this one coin? How would somebody come and drop off only 99 coins? And so he says, yeah, I have to work very, very hard, because the one gold coin is worth a lot of money. It's going to take me a long time to accumulate enough wealth so that I can buy that one gold coin and make a full set of 100. And so the farmer toiled, and his children toiled, and he slave drove his wife and family to work harder and harder every day so that they could accumulate enough to buy that one more gold coin. 6 months later, the king came past with his minister, and there they saw this man as worried as can be, swearing at his family, everybody in disarray. And the king said, well, it's 6 months and you changed this man from a happy, singing farmer to a miserable specimen of a human. How did you do that? He says, well, now, Your Majesty, he belongs to the 99 Club. So the story, that moral of that story is, we have within our hands all the resources that we need. And the formation of our non-profit organization was based on that. We have no funds, we are self-funded, we ask for no funds. We use the systems that are in place, that exist, like the Public Protector, the South African Police, the Human Rights Commission, the Equity Courts, and there's a whole lot of other organizations that don't cost money. So you don't need expensive lawyers to go and put what you see is wrong into correction. You, as citizens of the country, are in a position to do something when you see something is not right. And Guru was pointed out that we went to arrest the president, and we had full intention to do it because our laws allow us to do that. Section 42 of the Criminal Procedure Act says that if you are aware of a crime, it is your duty to arrest the perpetrator and hand him to the police. So we didn't do something that is out of this world. We did something that is within our power. And yes, it's right. Nobody has attempted this before. Nobody had the guts to do it. But when we saw that it is in our law, my sister and I said, well, we need to make this point. But if we succeed, it will be a first, a world first, I would say. But if we don't, I think we've made our message known. And that message is that we have a criminal president and he needs to be arrested. Okay, we made that attempt. When we got there was a whole line of policemen, generals, brigadiers, majors, and the like, and they told us why we shouldn't do this. They didn't tell us we couldn't do this, right? They even brought out the lawyer, Mr. Iqbal Latif, and he says, well, this law applies to people who are breaking in and entering a home and stealing things, and you come across them and say, no. If you read this thing, it says any crime, not just breaking and entering and stealing household goods. And we had a list of 8 different crimes that we consider our president guilty of, starting with Marikana and ending with Pala Pala. So, and there's various others. You'll be shocked at what this man is guilty of. Anyway, that is why we did that. In 2021, we came across on the news an event or something that had occurred at that time, and we said, well, somebody should do something about this. And on the news, what had come up is that Becky Chele, the Minister of Police, was involved in organized crime. And he had a friend who was a convicted criminal by the name of Tumi Barimuthu. And together they had formed alliances and done all kinds of things. There was 2 tape recordings of telephone conversations between the two. So usually people, what they would do is, well, it's read in the news and then you turn over the page and you read the next horrendous story. So we said, well, let's start by doing something about this. And with that evidence, those tape recordings that were public knowledge on the internet, we took that evidence and went to the Pietermaritzburg police station and said, nobody's charged this man, everybody's talking about it, so we would like you to start investigating this matter from a police perspective, from your point of view, and bring these culprits to book. So we did that. I mean, there was a lot of obstacles that we had to go over. The junior police didn't want to do it. We had to go to the station commander. And the station commander saw that we are citizens. We pointed out to him that we have this right to bring anyone to book. And so he registered the complaint, and it has a case number, and it's under investigation. I've got SMSs from the police, from the Hawks, saying that these matters are being investigated. Yes, it's taking time, but we've learnt a trick from President Zuma, that you give the police enough time to do the investigation. If they come back and say that they cannot go further, and this matter has, there's no further evidence, or there's no crime being committed in their they must tell us and give us a letter to say they cannot prosecute. Then we will take it further and do a private prosecution. So that is something that President Zuma has pointed out to us. We have that right to take matters further on our own. So there's no excuse now. If you know of any crime, you should report it to the police like anybody else. Not frivolously now, but real things. And there's so many. We're busy with many of these as well. One of our other focuses is corrupt banks. And we find that banks have taken advantage of the public, of their lack of knowledge, of the misunderstanding of their home loans and motor car loans and all of that. So foreclosures are rife, and many of these foreclosures are illegal, right? As a layman, you might think that, hey, the bank is, we didn't pay one account, or we missed one installment, and then, yes, now they have a right to take our house and sell it. But they don't, because you have rights, and morally it's not right that you miss a payment or you miss two payments, and then you've paid more than what you borrowed already. You owe them, yes, you owe them the interest, and you miss these payments, and now they come and take you home. So the bank has collected lots of money from you, and now they've got your home as well. So they've been doubly rewarded for a small misdemeanor on your part, but you have rights. People don't know this, and they let it slide. They lose their homes. Most of these homes can be saved because there are other methods besides selling your home to recover their money. And we are helping people who are in that kind of position. If you know anybody who's in that position, let us know. Guru has Shamila's details, and we will see if we can assist. That is one of the other things that we are assisting with. So in conclusion, what I would like to say is that we must tackle the problems facing society. I mean, there's many problems, from poverty, unemployment, corrupt politicians, corrupt banks, and so if we see these things, then tackle them head on in whatever way you think right. Now, what I have found that we have more ways to deal with white collar crime and situations where you find there's no way out. There is always a way out, and there are many. You must use these tools that are at your disposal. So Julian Assange said this: courage is contagious. I think we've set an example, quite a few, and we would like to see more people take it up. Be courageous. Don't be fearful. You are the most powerful, not the politicians. The citizens are the most powerful. The people are the most powerful. You put those politicians in there, and you can take them out. So you have a lot of power. You must make use of it. That's all I have to say, Guru.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Srinivasan. Again, my heart melts when I find people that goes beyond the call of being a citizen so that they can embrace others who are less fortunate or has less tools to defend and protect themselves. Yesterday we had a 34-year-old boy doing exemplary work in society. And here we are hearing you today. Give him a hand. Him and his sister Shamila, if you heard them, Shamila is exactly like a brother, quiet spoken, humble, can't harm a fly, but yet have the courage of a lion to arrest a sitting president. Okay? So you don't have to be like me. You don't have to be militant. You can go and do your work substantively with whatever character you have been endowed with by the Supreme Lord. So look at Shamila, I'm sure we'll see the brother and sister duo soon. We will take up all your offers. We have many people that come through, some not as devotees, but the ashram is a port of call when people are in distress, and we have you and Shamila there, your organization, that can direct them to an institution so they can get a solution. It is misunderstood that ashrams, mosques and churches will do your societal work for you. It is misunderstood. God has created relevant structures through you, through His people, to assist those that are in need. All we can do, and all I can do as a guru, I can open doors for you. But you have to walk the doors, through the doors. You have to have faith that the Creator can fix your problem. Can fix your problem. So, from where the Creator is situated and where we are on earth, remember, time is cyclic, it is not linear. Scientists have realized time is cyclic. So when you estimate the time here on earth, it's 311 trillion 40 billion years, one cycle of creation. And then when this is seen from the Supreme Lord and the perspective of time where He is, it's 1 second, under 1 second. You understand? So use all knowledge. I keep reverting to Pastor Tobella. She said you will die without knowledge. Knowledge kills humanity, and she is right. You don't have to physically die, but without knowledge, you're a dead being, suffering from amnesia, just moving from place to place. It is knowledge that gives you direction. And in this month, we are meeting dynamic people, we are meeting people with credentials. Last year, a demon slipped through the gaps. We gave him this platform. this year is busy trying to demolish this institution. So we are impartial, we do not judge anyone, we give everyone this platform, hoping that whatever intention you come to the ashram, you hear us and you change your direction. Last week we had the FF Plus, Freedom Front Plus, and we were blessed by the Lord to have two gentlemen, one an Englishman and one a 100% Afrikaner. And coincidentally on the menu we had braai for supper. You understand? So God is working silently behind us. The journey has started. The revolution has begun. There's no stopping. 2024 will show us the resilience of South Africans. As South Africans, when we come together, we are the most dynamic and powerful nation in the world. So if the Afrikaners, the Coloureds, the Khoi, the San, the Zulus, and everyone comes together, there is a 100% guarantee that there will be a dynamic shift to prosperity. Jai Shriman Narayan, and thank you.